Hey everyone, I'm back with another update. In this episode, I'll cover news related to Venezuela, immigration, and Minnesota Somali fraud schemes. Of course, I'll end with the noteworthy tidbits. President Trump announced that Venezuela is releasing large numbers of political prisoners as a sign of seeking peace, and he met with some of the largest oil companies in the world to surge $100 billion worth of investments. The United States, in coordination with the interim authorities of Venezuela, seized another oil tanker which departed Venezuela without approval. The tanker was sent back to Venezuela, and all oil will be sold through the energy deal created by the Trump administration. President Trump canceled round 2 of attacks on Venezuela as the United States and Venezuela are now working well together, and Trump said the American people are close to getting a big reduction in oil prices because of the deal with Venezuela. He also said that Venezuela seems to be an ally now, and that if China and Russia want to buy oil, they'll have to buy from the United States. On to immigration-related news. The state of North Carolina was ordered to revoke all illegal CDLs or lose $50 million in federal funding, which will be a steep loss either way for North Carolina because 54% of their CDLs were issued illegally. Florida is on the verge of banning illegal aliens from sending remittances, having bank accounts, getting loans, licenses, homeownership assistance, and more, and this legislation will also automatically set an illegal alien driver at fault in car crashes for insurance purposes. There were, of course, more anti-ICE protests, but I've decided I will no longer be covering the protests. It's obvious that a large portion of these protesters are paid to be there and are given signs because all of the signs match, and when asked why they're there, they can't answer the question. It's especially obvious they're getting paid to be there when they outright admit it on camera. These people make the peaceful protesters look bad, and they don't deserve any more time on this show. I will, however, continue to cover news related to the protests, since some of it is important. So let's dig in. The Trump administration is investigating the funders of ICE Watch organizations who organize harassment and protests against ICE. New footage of the Renee Good shooting was released, and it shows the Minneapolis ICE agent was directly in front of Good's vehicle when she floored it. Many are calling for the arrest of Good's partner, who told Good to drive baby drive directly into the ICE agent, and the Department of Homeland Security sent around 1,000 additional Border Patrol and Customs agents to Minneapolis. Congressman Sri Tanidar filed to abolish ICE, but that will go nowhere, just like everything else he files. As for the Minnesota Somali fraud scheme mess, Nick Shirley continues to investigate, recently visiting a Somali grocery store, inside which a man admitted he wires money to Africa. This man was imported through the UN from Uganda, and he allegedly runs a phone company inside this grocery store. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced a geographic targeting order for the Minneapolis-St. Paul area after money was wired to the Middle East to ensure the rapid prosecution of illegal activity and fraud, and he also announced the IRS is launching massive audits of financial institutions that facilitated the laundering of Minnesota funds. Secretary Bessent is forming an IRS task force to target nonprofit groups in Minnesota and nationwide who abuse their tax-exempt status, and he revealed plans to circumvent the Tim Walz administration by training Patriot Minnesota law enforcement who are fed up with the fraud to catch it in real time. The U.S. Department of Agriculture suspended federal dollars to Minnesota, effective immediately and including SNAP benefits, until sufficient proof has been provided that the fraud has stopped. Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Old Glory. Let me tell you about them quick. Are you looking for a gift for a music lover, or maybe some apparel to show off your quirky side? Old Glory has you covered. With over 300,000 officially licensed items covering music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture, you're guaranteed to find the perfect item. They even have seasonal gear. My husband enjoys the Beatles and Led Zeppelin apparel, and I love the Billy Idol apparel. I even found items for my fellow plant enthusiasts. This family-owned superstore is known for their quality and customer service, offers free standard shipping on all orders, and orders are shipped the same day you purchase. My discount code gives you 15% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit oldglory.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's Jade, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. It was confirmed that some voters in Fulton County, Georgia, had their address listed as a bus stop location, meaning these people voted illegally, and a federal judge ordered the state of Connecticut to explain how hiding their voter rolls from Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon doesn't violate federal law. President Trump endorsed Megan Degenfelder to be the next governor of Wyoming. California Governor Gavin Newsom's administration is reportedly engaged in a massive cover up of ghost child care centers, which have received hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. President Trump demanded a 10% cap on credit card interest rates, saying, "Please be informed that we will no longer let the American public be ripped off by credit card companies that are charging interest rates of 20 to 30% and even more, which festered unimpeded during the Sleepy Joe Biden administration." Affordability. Effective January 20th, 2026, I, as President of the United States, am calling for a one-year cap on credit card interest rates of 10%. The Supreme Court was asked to strike down a California law that allows school districts to hide a child's gender identity from their parents. President Trump said the United States will make a move on Greenland because, in his words, if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Congressman Tim Burchett was selected chairman of the House DOJ Committee, and Burchett asked Elon Musk to rejoin the fight to help him root out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal budget. President Trump threatened to strike Iran if they kill peaceful demonstrators. The U.S. House passed legislation codifying President Trump's executive order that makes housing more affordable, and President Trump announced mortgage rates are now 5.7%. That's all I have for today. I'll be back with another update soon. Until then, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast, and follow me on Instagram and X at Shades of Jade Pod. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.